Let's freaking start. Let's go. Fucking go. I am so excited for fucking stomping ground. I'm so fucking excited for absolutely nothing. Most of Stomping Ground is just rematches from Super Showdown and some stupid feuds. I don't give a shit about Stomping Ground. I have low expectations. I had higher expectations for Super Showdown than a crappy pay-per-view name than Super Showdown. They could have gotten rid of anything. They could have put anything. They could have brought Backlash in. They could have bring Extreme Rules. Pay-per-views that are like before SummerSlam. Payback. I haven't seen that in years. What the fuck happened to that show? If they were doing a majority of rematches from Super Showdown, why couldn't you bring back Payback and Backlash? Whatever. Less ranting about the pay-per-view, or I have more time. First, we started with the return of Biggie Langston. No, we started with Miz TV. Before we even started, there was as soon as I tried to change the channel, when I had to switch on, somehow, when I tried to switch the input so I can put it into SmackDown, somehow green lights start fluttering around, so that was my technicality, watching SmackDown for the first few minutes, starting with Miz TV like it did on Raw, kind of losing the authenticity of having interviews with different wrestlers. But then, as soon as like Miz that, now as a babyface, and he doesn't have like the most cleveristic lines as he did as a heel. He's just like to Shane. It's like, fuck you, dude. You beat up my daddy. I gave you tag team championships when obviously you held some championships. I don't know why he took that like the most personal feud he ever had in his life, other than him becoming WWE champion or several feuds with R-Truth or John Morrison or Dolph Ziggler or Daniel Bryan. Somehow the most personal feud that he's focused on is Shane McMahon. And it just came with them bloody blahing around, Shane McMahon just saying tomato tomato, and him exposing he had slippery tactics to win, but he won those matches, so a winner is a winner, chicken dinner. And it just came up to him qualifying 2 matches that Miz has to win to get to Shane. Even if Shane would just do that to just win off a triangle chokehold. I complained about this the last several weeks. Miz has gotten better as a wrestler, but at times he tries to put too much into his arsenal. First match with Elias and McIntyre was in the ring, obviously, with Shane. Fucking coming around, doing all these bullshit ass kicks and trying to get some cheap pops. All because he's doing running corner moves and he's a babyface now. Yet he's just overdoing it. Instead of a mocking point now, is just using Daniel Bryan's move of homage, even though he's back in the main roster competing regularly. That makes no sense in my opinion. And then he just botches a springboard attempt that obviously wasn't on purpose, and it just came up with a headbutt, then a claymore kick to end the match. Then Shane McMahon came and gave him a triangle choke and beat the piss out of Miz. Thanks, he had him on the floor and kind of took advantage. So that was the entire segment. The first opening minutes, we had 2 matches, 3 matches in a row in the first few minutes, in the first 20 minutes. Then we had, it was a crappy segment. It was a stupid segment. Next, we had Heavy Machinery facing off against AJ Kirch and Dave Durcha, whoever the fuck these guys are, local competitors. And this was based on Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan, supposed to have a little title unification match. They're proof they're doing well for the planet. And we forget about most of the tag division. Thanks, Heavy Machinery is still working. The Usos usually come to SmackDown anyway, so what's the point? And they were also given a tag team title match on the spot as soon as they heard about this wild card rule. So why aren't they there? And oh wow, they really have a shitty tag division. They even have fucking Chad Gable, some guy that's used to having tag teams, cut his hair, change his wrestling gear, and not have the gimmick, except that stupid segment later on in the show when he was near Apollo Crews and started writing shit down with a different attire on. It just came up to the heavy machinery. If they win this match, they get a title shot. And they blow him out. That was literally it. I hate the caterpillar, by the way. It's such a stupid ripoff of the worm. It's not even that charismatic, and it's not even that over as like when Scotty Too Hotty did it numerous times in his time in the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression. So that was just eh. It was just a segment. There was no other like talk or anything else. Next up was like a segment involving R-Truth. He was locked up in some kind of, and I know they're leaving this for the YouTube channel for some apparent reason, because somehow the YouTube channel is more important than your fucking major source of income. Why? You could partner with YouTube anytime you want. I don't know why WWE's associating with keeping the 24/7 championship, the most entertaining championship, with the fucking the remains of social media. It makes no fucking sense. When obviously watching Sonya Deville versus Carmella is on television. I'd rather watch whatever R-Truth and Jinder Mahal are getting themselves into. It's the only time I'm excited to watch Jinder Mahal on live television. So she just left them in the big ass green box thing, and Jinder Mahal's there trying to find a referee or something to help him out so he can pin him. And I think that's going to be on YouTube because later on they never went back to that, and they just segued into another thing involving Sonya Deville, Amanda Rose, harassing Amber Moon like that's the only female that you plan on giving magazines of. You don't even endorse it, Sonya. What kind of friend are you? And they just came over to this mediocre match. I think she failed to do a Luthez press. It was Carmella can't do super kicks, and yet she always does it. It feels like she's going to put her first palm on the floor and try to do a super kick. Anything else, Sonya Deville can barely do bicycle knees. I thank God I don't see her in wrestling matches, man. It's like watching the Goldberg and Undertaker match from just last Friday. It fucking sucked. Mediocre, sluggish, think that they're fast paced. If you want to, you can just bring weapons. It makes no damn difference. And it makes a damn difference into making it actually exciting and actually seeing what the women's division can do, except for these boring matches that have no storytelling. You have a magazine for Mandy. You don't even endorse her. You try to make her a popular heel. I'd rather see Simon Dean back on the main roster. Don't remember who that is. You're not as old as me, and I fucking pray for you, and I'm fucking grateful for that. Next up, there was also a segment involving Aleister Black, I think after this, involving Aleister Black just saying, the door is wide open! Nigga, get me in a storyline! Get me in a storyline! Oh, we don't do those anymore. You just get in a wrestling match. What? Why? Uh, reasons? Cause you're a good wrestler. What else would you have me here? Indie fans watch our show. Fuck you. This is literally it. You bring these guys in that have multitudes of talent, and yet you waste all their times. EC3, former Impact World Heavyweight Champion, as well as like that's a failing company. They still have some really well done workers, and whether you like it or not, Impact was a successful Western wrestling business. Uh, U.S. wrestling business, and one of the most capable, and had a huge leverage. It used to be on TNT. It used to be on a reasonable time slot. They used to have pay-per-views, and they had a huge bridge of wrestling talent. And whether you like it or not, that was a huge alternative to Ring of Honor in New Japan, and still is to that day because some wrestlers from WWE or New Japan and Lucha Underground are flourishing in there. And that's my take on it. Why the fuck are they just wasting somebody like Tommy End, i.e. Aleister Black, and just putting in these stupid segues that are no ways threatening, intimidating, supposed to be dark and poetic, but they're not. It's just saying, can someone please fucking fight me? At least next week we're gonna see the new Bray Wyatt tried to at least interact with some of the wrestlers with his new gimmick. And now I'm just seeing these whiny segments. And I like Aleister Black. If you don't see him on NXT, he had some great moments there when his feud with Velveteen Dream, his matches with Adam Cole and Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano. Amazing matches. Even his tag teams, like when most of the pickups from early 2019 from NXT couldn't work out, like Lars Sullivan's little PDSD road trip where it couldn't, he couldn't make a main roster because of his little shit, mental thing. Nikki Cross was literally the most notable person on TV, and Ricochet and Aleister Black were just tearing up the tag division because literally they had no tag division. So they made Ricochet and Aleister Black a thing. Watched their matches; they were a bit entertaining. They were pretty good. Even in Takeover with Phoenix, they had a great match. So why don't you have them in just filler matches and be like, why can't anybody fight me for real? Like, make him have a bit of an undefeated streak. If he wants, he can DQ a couple guys if they're not worth his time. Do something with Aleister Black. Instead of these stupid vignettes that don't shed any more light on the characters. He keeps talking about his tattoos and all this dumb shit, yet he doesn't go that much in depth. He doesn't interact with most of the wrestlers, and that's what makes some of the vignettes with like most of the other Hall of Famers actually more authentic. Thanks to shows what makes him different from the other guy. And now I'd rather shit. They might have Aleister Black in like 6 months try to chase R-Truth or somebody else for the 24/7 title, just like they let Eric Young do, just like they let Drake Maverick do. I think the Ascension are chasing for the belt. Anybody else that used to be good before they hit the main roster completely fucked. And that's why EC3 is just holding a cup every time they chase it, R-Truth, or Tyler Breeze is back on NXT. That's fucking depressing. Next up, we had Biggie Langston's return to the ring with just a little bit of with Biggie obviously with his quippy remarks over inside and outside the wrestling business, with him referencing, "Oh, return each time I get a championship. I would be Charlotte Flair because she is already like a 10-time women's 9-time women's champion. She's like been in the business for in the main roster for like since 2015. I don't think they should count the Divas Championship, even though it's still a female title. So I don't give a shit." Then they had Sami Zayn come out, Kevin Owens come out, Dolph Ziggler come out, like they really are like have this biggest chemistry. Even though like Dolph Ziggler's new quip is like, "Show the footage." Oh, that's Xavier Woods. Oh shit. Oh no, not that one. That's a reference to the sex tape with Paige and Xavier Woods and Brad Maddox. If you haven't seen that, I highly advise it. After you're done watching this shit video, you can actually watch something worth your time and worth your arm's time. Actually, make you get a bicep. I'm referencing people to watch porn. I'm making sure people watch porn after this. This is terrible. this segment's already ruined, and it was just a pointless scene to make like Ziggler threatening. At a case, we didn't even get who attacked Biggie Langston off a few weeks before like their little match from weeks ago. And they just try to pull like Kofi Kingston as a hypocrite because he used his friends as a scapegoat, even though he beat Kevin Owens clean. Next up was the next match involving backstage segment before the match began with Nikki Cross with manipulating Nikki Cross, and we thought she was gonna go hectic. She didn't use anything. She didn't attack her. She didn't personally injure her. So what was the point of this match? Just for Nikki Cross to lose clean. What's the mystique of Nikki Cross then? What's the interest of Nikki Cross? You keep making these like dangerous or big characters, and they don't do anything severe to make these characters threatening. Lars Sullivan, he's beating fucking luchador midgets. And fucking Nikki Cross, supposed to be the psychotic version of Sanity. She comes in a solo act, and she barely has so much in depth in the character, except she's a white, thick Scottish woman. I don't know how I can mix all that together, but she somehow has a nice ass. She looks super cute, and I want to fuck her. I hope everybody gets that. I just hopefully this match is boring. Other than a few high knees and Bailey thinking that she's an interesting wrestler, this was a really boring match. She ended up off a fucking elbow drop. Well, like, Dolph Ziggler has elbow drops, and he doesn't even get 3 counts against jobbers. So this was completely stupid. She couldn't even end it with a belly to belly. If you don't know what a belly to belly is, it's just a belly to belly slam. It's a belly to belly slam. We have from all the guys overusing super kicks all these years, a belly to belly gets the job done. Nikki Cross barely got that much interest in the match. And like Alexa Bliss didn't even interfere. Like she always gets this quip now with like the cup of coffee. She doesn't even use it to distract Bailey. Like toss the coffee in her face and a roll up pinfall. The little stupid neck breaker shit that Nikki Cross uses. So she just wins to get a 1-up on Bailey because 50-50 booking. That's always great. A 1-up on Alexa Bliss, so like 50-50 booking is always great, so whatever. That Aleister Black promo still got me tight. Next up was the main event. That was a 6-man tag, highly obtained to just show that the New Day are back. Oh my god. New Day are back. The New Day are back. Plus they rerun a little bit of a Firefly Funhouse segment. I cared less about that because I already saw it on Raw, and it was an entertaining segment. I just don't have to see it because you have it on YouTube. You have it on Raw. You have it on the network. Why the fuck I need to see this on a SmackDown? Wasting my TV time. You couldn't let any of these fuckers get any TV time. Stop rerunning shit. People already were done with the reruns with Triple H and Randy Orton for Super Showdown. I don't have to see every rerun of fucking Firefly Funhouse. It's already entertaining enough on Raw. I don't have to see it on SmackDown. We don't even know where he's going. The brand split's already fucked anyway. First you let Bailey go anywhere on Raw and SmackDown. There's no legitimacy with the championships anymore. Everybody goes wherever they want now. And we have jobbers just scuffling around the place because of the hardcore 24/7 7-Eleven champion. I don't give a fuck why you named it that. You couldn't just call it the Wild Card Championship? Is something really bad in your mind? Is it that bad that you have cobwebs? WWE? Whatever, the 6-man tag happened. It's your traditional 6-man tag involving a New Day. Hot tag, leapfrog, a few super kicks off Dolph Ziggler, a running senton, and I think Kevin Owens looked like he was about to break his freaking spine when he attempted that outside. The New Day won off a missed super kick off a Biggie Langston to Sami Zayn, and then a Trouble in Paradise for the win. That was SmackDown. Other than the barely any match that entered me, some of the segments were pretty decent. I give this a 4 out of 10. This didn't have the most best wrestling. It did have some decent promos. I didn't mind the promo off Biggie Langston. It was pretty good. Nice to see Biggie back on the New Day, other than Xavier Woods just being the personal cheerleader of Kofi Kingston. Now he has 2 black cheerleaders for one forgettable champion in Kofi Kingston. That I swear to God, he's held this belt since WrestleMania. And no one cares. No one cares about his feud with permanent talented jobbers he's feuding with. Sami Zayn hasn't been shit. Kevin Owens hasn't been shit since the Universal title and his little friendship feud, his friendship with Chris Jericho. Dolph Ziggler has been an international bust. First, he kept me laughing. He kept me laughing early in his career with those stupid bumps. that he kept flopping around like a gefilte fucking fish, and then his failure to even stay consistent or healthy during his first world heavyweight title reign. His fails to even stay relevant in a feud with John Cena. Yes, he feuded with John Cena. He even failed to have any like good promo. His actual good segments were the time he was chasing the Intercontinental title against The Miz back in 2016. That's Dolph Ziggler's career. He has been the most decorated champions. These are guys that he's feuding against. The only person to beat, the two people to be world champion are somehow whining like a little bitch because the nigga has the belt. Aleister Black has to be given something. I did not like his little promos that he continues to have. Stomping ground ain't shit. I don't care about The Miz and his still continuous feud with Shane McMahon. Please have something for Bayley, because she has no reason to feud with, like, they're not even building it up like Alexa Bliss is manipulating her. Thanks to pay-per-views like in fucking 2 weeks, and if they rush this like on Tuesday, it's gonna piss me off because you guys can't schedule pay-per-views anymore. Thanks, like, you have 5 weeks for this pay-per-view, yes, but 2 weeks for the minor pay-per-view. What the fuck? Come on. Even for me, that I make my own stuff in universe mode. I can give like 7 pay-per-view. I can give like 5 pay-per-views for 1 month. I literally tried that one time in the universe mode, and I could tell you, bro, everything made me laugh. Universe mode is kind of shit to me. I can't lie. The game is already a scuffled mess, and I wish like I had my interest to actually complete the game, so I can literally give you a review. Maybe when WWE 2K20 comes out, I can give you a like, or later in the summer. I gotta keep a reminder of that. The show gets a 4 out of 10. Other than the pretty nice return of Biggie Langston, nothing about the show intrigued me. At least, Raw had some pretty good wrestling. Just, you had no conclusion to the fucking R-Truth segment. From Raw, he got stuck in an elevator and at least some funny shit ensued. He got stuck in a box, and no nigga even got him out. We don't even know he's still fucking alive, but they'll leave that shit for YouTube. And Heavy Machinery is just stuck with this boring ass feud with Daniel Bryan. Meat eating fat pieces of shit. And all they do is beat up jobbers. They don't even try to harass Daniel Bryan or make him like actually interesting with this Intercontinental Championship only gimmick. And yet he was world champion with this gimmick. And I hated the matches. The Miz sucks as a babyface wrestler. That's my view on it. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to hear more. I'm always welcome to, give you more opening views or more intel on the show or like anything else outside the wrestling world. Thanks for watching.